Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video is on my way too early NHL standing predictions for the 2021-2022 NHL season. I've had it suggested a bunch in my comments, and out of free agency here, after the first day, after the second day, I want to give my way too early predictions for the upcoming year, and we'll give some fun predictions for the playoffs and for a potential final. Obviously, as I said, it's way too early. So a lot of these predictions are going to be all over the place. It's going to change. So when you're watching this video, don't be making comments going, how could you possibly have this team so low? Or possibly, like, don't take it so serious. It's just fun. It's just fun out of the free agency news, out of all the additions teams have made so far. I've had it suggested a bunch of times, so I thought, why not? Let's have some fun with it. So if you're a new subscriber, welcome. Drop a like and leave a fun comment. Leave a comment with your thoughts, with your predictions. We're going into August here. Like, we're about to go into August. There's no need to get too serious about takes right now. We're just going to have fun with some predictions. So based on what I know, based on the additions so far, a lot's still going to change with rosters. So these predictions will not probably matter in a couple months. So let's go into it and let's have some fun with it. All right. So starting with the Metro Division, I have, again, with the assumption that the Islanders are bringing everyone back. Maybe this ends up being a bad take in a few days, but the Islanders at the first spot, the Flyers at the second spot. I'm like super confident in those two teams being in. If the Islanders have basically everyone back and the Flyers with their additions, and the Flyers always have this trend of they go to the playoffs, then they miss the playoffs, go to the playoffs, miss the playoffs. Flyers fans know that. So I'm having the Flyers in the playoffs, Islanders in the playoffs as well. And then it gets complicated. Penguins, Capitals, Hurricanes, Rangers. I think it's going to be a 4-team race for the last two potential spots for the playoffs. Again, if the Metro Division has two wildcard reps, like if they have two wildcard teams out of the division, then the Atlantic Division will have no teams in the wildcard. So that could be a potential. The reason why I have the Rangers at 6, I'm just going to rip through this quick in terms of analysis. This is way too early, but the Rangers haven't made moves that I can say, okay, it puts them over the top. They traded Buchnevich away. They haven't gone after a big name. So the Rangers have not gotten better, so I can't put them in a playoff spot right now. But that could change, and I want to be high on the Rangers. And I think the Rangers are going to have a great year, and this Metro Division is going to be super tough. The Hurricanes, I think the Rangers could even go ahead of the Hurricanes, depending on how the goaltending goes for the Hurricanes, and they lost Dougie Hamilton, so I can't have the Hurricanes up high. I think this could be the last year, the last dance potential for the Penguins and Capitals. They're getting older. Both cores are getting older. I think this could be the last chance for the Penguins and Capitals to go far. Devils, Blue Jackets. I like the Devils' move so far, but for me, it's not enough to put them in a playoff spot. And the Blue Jackets, I just think they're going to be in kind of a retooling, rebuilding mode this year. Atlantic Division. Boston Bruins, they've been the big winners of free agency so far. They're at the top for me with the Lightning at 2. I think those two teams are the best in the Atlantic Division. You can argue those two teams are the best in the NHL right now, if you wanted to make that argument. The Lightning coming off 2 Cup champs. They're, for me, still in the top 3 of the Atlantic Division, no doubt. And I think even with their losses, they're still up there. And I'll say this, that I think the Toronto Maple Leafs, they should make a playoff spot. I know people are going to make jokes. We know these players step up in the season. That's not an issue. So it's a matter of, are they going to show up in the playoffs? But the first round exit jokes will always be a thing until they win a round. I still think they should make the playoffs. And then the Panthers at the 4 spot with the potential to even pass the Leafs or with a wild card spot. Habs at the 5 spot. They're at risk of missing the playoffs. I think they have to get better at that center depth. Losing to Deneau was a really big loss. The Sens could be a sneaky team this year. I just don't know if they're good enough yet. Red Wings, Sabres. I think especially with the Sabres, that's pretty... I don't need to explain that too much, you know? So let's go to the next one in the Pacific Division. This one's wide open. I'm still going to put Vegas at the top, but I'm putting kind of like notice beside it. We'll see how losing Fleury and if they can still make a big move. But Vegas seems like a lock to make the playoffs at the very least, so I have to put them at the top or at least near the top. Oilers, Canucks, that would be such a fun first-round matchup. I would love to see that. I think the Canucks, that offense, if they stay healthy and if Demko can play well, even with a mediocre to bad defense, if that's the case, I still think the Canucks can make the playoffs. And then, oh my God, if that's the top 3, I don't know if the Pacific Division will have a represent for the wild cards, because the Central Division, for me, could be having both wild cards come out of that division. But I think it could be between the Kraken, Kings, and Flames. For me, the Ducks don't have enough yet, and I don't know. The Sharks, for me, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing. But Flames, Kings, Kraken, I just kind of put a random order there. But the Kraken, for me, I love the defense. I love the goaltending. It's just the forward group is a question mark. But to me, the Kraken have better forward depth than the Kings and Flames, for example. But I love the Flames edition with Coleman. I love the Kings edition in Deneau. So I think the Kings or Flames, I could see both of them making the playoffs, but I had the Flames last year making the playoffs. They disappointed me, so I'm not putting them there right now until I see better moves, until I see a better shakeup. If they're trying to run it back and just have Coleman as an addition, and then obviously Zadorov too, the Kings could be a very sneaky team, but I like the Kraken's structure right now, and if they can get another big forward, watch out, because I love that defense, and that goalie tandem is one of the best, and you could argue it is the best in this specific division. I mean, Grubauer and Drieger. It's pretty top-notch. So let's go to the Central Division. And, oh my, hot take alert, hot take alert. The Dallas Stars at the top. I just think they have a really complete team if they can have, well, two aspects here. The goaltending, if a goaltender can step up. They have three options right now. With Bishop out, they'll have Hudobin, they'll have Ottinger, they'll have Holtby. They have the options there. I think the Avalanche, while they're still going to make the playoffs, for me it's a question mark based on like what I know right now. They have Kemper now instead of Grubauer. They lost Ryan Graves, lost Connor Timmins, lost Donskoy, lost Brandon Saad, but they still have a lot of great pieces with that team, and obviously Nate McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog go down the list, so I think the Avs are still legit and legit contenders, but I think it's a wait and see, so my confidence is like still a little, I'd say, heightened. I don't know, like we'll see. The Avalanche, it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. But my potential for them is still heightened, and it's still up there. The Jets, I could see them anywhere from like the 3 to 5 spot here, but I'm going to put them at the 3, Blues at the 4, Blackhawks at the 5, Wild at the 6. Until the Wild make a bigger move or prove to me that they can be legit on 2 years in a row. Like last year they were awesome, but I just think with them losing Suter, them losing Susie, it's going to be interesting to see how they go in, to me, a tougher division. I think this division's tougher than the one they were in last year. And the Blackhawks made a lot of improvements. I think the Blues are still fine. Like they lost Schwartz, they lost Hoffman, but they brought in Brandon Saad. We'll see the Tarasenko situation. But to me, I feel like I'm the most confident in my Central Division rankings here. The only hot take I have here is like the Stars at the 1 spot. But I'm with the Stars moves. And if they can stay healthy, that's the big thing. If the Stars can mostly stay healthy throughout the year, I think they're a lock for the playoffs, but we'll see. And the Preds at the Coyotes at the bottom, that's where I'm pretty confident in. Like the Preds could be a surprise team if they have if they build some good depth here, and if Saros goes off. But I'm pretty confident they won't be in a division spot with all those teams, and I'm pretty confident the Coyotes won't be there. So let's look through some fun potential first round and then second round matchups. So one of the first round matchups I would keep an eye on is potentially like the Flyers and Penguins maybe, or like the Leafs against the Bruins and Lightning, the Oilers, as I said, against the Canucks. So this is like potential second round matchups. So for example, if the Panthers were to play the Islanders, I could see the Panthers winning that, maybe getting revenge on recent series losses against the Islanders, and the Flyers maybe beating the Penguins. Again, we'll see. Bruins versus Lightning, again, that would be a really fun matchup. Golden Knights versus Oilers is a second round matchup. That would be really good. And Stars versus Avalanche, that'd be a lot of fun for a second round matchup. And then just for a fun Final Four, again, don't take it too seriously, but Flyers versus Lightning and Oilers versus Avalanche. So McKinnon versus McDavid, and then Flyers versus Lightning, and then maybe a Lightning Avalanche Cup final. But again, don't take it too seriously. I just wanted to have fun with it. I think this one maybe is like an obvious one in what we maybe saw like recently in terms of favorites or betting favorites or whatever you want to put out. I think these two are two of the betting favorites right now if you were to put a bet down. But anyways, it's so early. It is so early, so don't put too much stock in these predictions. It's just for fun. It's just to put it out there. Let me know your predictions right now. A lot's going to change. I'm going to upload a prediction video later in August, and then probably my final one before the season starts. So again, I hope you are subscribed to this channel with the notifications on. Follow me on Twitter if you want. Hot Take Hockey, and a lot more takes, a lot more videos, a lot more roster scenarios, a lot more lineup predictions, all of that on this channel. So hope to see you soon. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.